one of the things that we're working on right now, we're trying to get our, because in the country, we're not recognized. The black English speaking people are not recognized in this country. They have us under the category of the Garifuna, and we're not Garifuna. Okay, it's very important because one of the reasons our island is not, our communities are not being developed because we have no support from the central government in terms of that part of funds that is there for ethnic group. There's 9 ethnic groups in Honduras, and we're one of them. And we get nothing. So we're in the process right now. We've been talking, especially with this government, because they're trying to reach out and give a help, which some of our colleagues just went to Tegucigalpa to a meeting there with the president about the matter. But we don't know what we're gonna get from that, but we're hoping to get something that is gonna benefit our native people and to be able to document our culture, you know, because every other ethnic groups has a documentary of their culture, but we don't know. And it's so sad because if we don't do it now, we will lose our identity, which is very sad. And hoping that, you know, because these Bay Islands are the jewel of Honduras. We are the, what can I say, we are the, what we call the diamond of Honduras. You know, what we produce is unique. You know, our culture here is very rich, but little is known. And our elders are dying out, and there's no documentation of it. So we're trying to see if we can get them right now to give funding and to approve that we can have our culture throughout the Bay Islands documented. Utila, Guanaja, Rotan, Santos Borjola was included, the whole Bay Islands. You know, the whole Bay Islands has a history of how we used to make it. You know, everybody many years back we didn't have what we call all of these fences. Everybody, they were there, and they know that they were there because they were all one family, and we all live as one family, share together. If I had, you had, if you don't have and I have, it's all the same. The biggest income back in those years were the fishing industry, you know, which still a few for locals still fish, but we used to live off of the grid, you know, or organic, natural.
What kind of fish?
We fish, you name it, snapper, barra, they go fishing. That's for family. Then when they started years after to export, and export red snapper, deep water, and grouper. You know, grouper is one of the biggest that they used to export.
Where were they exporting to?
To the United States. A lot of the exportation of seafood used to go to the United States. Back then we had a company that used to come out of Tampa, and they used to fly a DC-10, and they would fly product back. We used to export back in the days coconut to the States, and banana. They used to export banana from here back to the States because the older folks used to farm. You know, they did a lot of farming.
Where were the farms?
All over the island. Yes. Long before the banana company came into Honduras, exportation used to come from the island. This is where it started. Long before it started over there. I mean, it started, and a lot of it went over there. There were a lot of lands and stuff. That's where a lot of our names comes in from Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean, because they bring in laborers, and many of those laborers procreated, and names, you know, you find some of the names here that you got in Jamaica or in some of the different Caribbean islands, Grand Cayman, because they brought laborers from those islands and they work on the railroad company when they were building that, and then that's where you got our native people down in Lima, Taylor down in Puerto Cortes, and the north coast of Honduras. We have a lot because they worked, and many of them stayed, made their homes, and then they just expanded, and then a lot of our men work out to sea, steamship from very early age. The young people, those elders, they would go out to ship from 15, 16 years. They go out to sea to help family because it wasn't much, but then they got a chance to go work at sea and send back a little bit of revenue. It was very easy to go to the States back then. You didn't have to worry about getting a visa. And they just get a permit and then they go. You didn't even have to worry about getting a written authorization from your parents, and once your mama say yes, maybe 16 or so, and the captain said, and you go and work on that boat, and some of them stayed there for years, made homes, came back, made their family back home, some made their family there, some came back, and just like that, you know.
Around what decade was that when people were on the ships?
That was way back in the 50s, 40s, 50s. Yeah, and they work on ship, and a lot of our young men, that was their big life. Go to sea, work, and send the money back home. Some stayed there for years before they came back, and they came back. They went as a kid and came back as a grown man, but they did came back. And still today, a lot of our men still go ship out. Today, it's it brings a big part of revenue back, because many homes today have either a husband or a son or a daughter that is out there working to send back, you know. So it create a big impact, and that's part of the big economical part here. Here lately they've been trying to work to get it established here, because you got to get so many paperwork now to go and get it, the seaman course we call it, here on the island, that a lot of our young boys that want to go out to sea can get their courses and stuff here on the island, and then find jobs and they go